Hey guys, it's Brent. We are live. It is Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you're having a great day out there. It is a gorgeous fall day here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I am loving it. For big guys like me, we love the cold weather. It's my last few months here in Cleveland, then back to California. So just enjoying my time. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Listen, we're going to do questions tonight. So if you have any, drop them into the chat here and I will get to them. That's how we're going to do it. Okay. So I have some time. I'll stay here with you guys for a while. Any questions, drop them into the chat and I'll take a look at it every few minutes. Okay. So I have been sick with the flu for the last week, finally feeling better. Over the weekend, I was really bad. So I took the weekend off. Uh, so down 15 pounds for those of you following my diet journey, 15 pounds, and which is great. The time I was sick, I didn't really restrict myself, but I didn't eat very much. So I think it kind of balanced out. So it's been a couple of weeks. So it almost equals out to about a pound a day, which is, pretty amazing. So yeah. But anyway, we're doing the live Q&A tonight, and several people have sent me questions. We can get to those until we get some live questions. So if there's something that you want to talk about, just drop it into the chat here. Any questions, anything that you're struggling with, going through, questions you have about anything we've talked about in the group, anything like that, just drop them into the chat, and we will go and do them live. Okay, so remember, it is 7:01 p.m. on Thursday. We are live here. So drop your questions over there in the chat. I want to talk about my book, 5 Steps to the Perfect Mindset. We have given away, as of today, 3,000 of those books. If you do not have the book, I tell you, you need it. The address is down there. You can go get your free copy right now. We give away, we've set it to about 100 a day lately, and then we try to cap them. But if you'd like one, everything in our life is because of our mindset. And people don't understand that it's all inside. It's an inside job. It's got to start with the mindset. So I wrote this book. It's a small one. It is information packed, and it's going to give you those 5 steps. And I thought what I'd do today while we're waiting for some questions is I'll talk a little bit about the book, and then you can know what's in it and decide if it's something for you. But really, what makes one person successful over another person? What makes one person happy over another person? More often than not, it's mindset. You can always look at outside factors. Yes, they're going to be things like knowing the right people, being in the right place at the right time, being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. But if you always focus on things out of your control, you're never going to be able to reach your full potential. I mean, you're always going to be on that hamster wheel when you're focusing on things you have no control over. Okay. So if you think about your subconscious, I mean, it's been programmed since you were 8 years old, just a little tiny kid. The only way to make any kind of change that's permanent is to get in there and change your subconscious. And that's what everyone talks about. Nobody tells you how to do it. It's a very difficult process, because what happens when your mind was in record mode, let's say, that's back between the ages of 2 and 8. That's when you're like a sponge, okay? And you're a mental sponge. You're picking up all the things from the people around you, from your environment, from society, and that's creating your belief patterns. And later on in life, those are going to come back and bite you in the ass, because they were created when you were not mature, you were not an adult, you were just a little kid. And now you're living with the decisions you made then. And if that doesn't scare the hell out of you, nothing will. Think about it. I know when I was 8 years old, I mean, I was far from mature, and decisions made then, to live with those today, that is scary. So you got to get in there and you got to change that programming. That's why people talk about positive thinking. And positive thinking is great, but positive thinking is only a very small part. That's not going to solve the problem, because what positive thinking is doing is you're putting kind of a Band-Aid on it. You're not fixing anything. You're just trying to, put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It just doesn't work. So everything begins with the right mindset. It can help you accomplish more in your life. It can help you do more. It can help you be more effective. So the only question is, well, how the hell do I get into the right mindset? So that's what I want to talk about today. It's directly from my book. If you have the book, uh, you'll know this. Okay. It's the 5 steps. So the first step is responsibility. And that's really the most important thing, because without that, if you don't do that first, nothing else is going to work, because you have got to take responsibility for where you are now. No matter what happened in your past, you have got to take responsibility that you have brought yourself here. You are responsible. Now, it's a scary thing, but it's also freeing, because when you realize that you are in control, it should be an enlightening experience. Okay. You're in charge of your actions. You're in charge of your mental states. You're in charge of your happiness. And in some ways, you may even be in charge of your own circumstances, you know? So it doesn't matter what situation you're in. It doesn't matter what you are going through right now. It doesn't matter if it's financial. It doesn't matter if it's relationships. It doesn't matter if it's health. Those are all things that you can work on with your mindset. So the first thing you got to know is that you have the power to change it. Okay. And if you don't believe that, you are never going to do it. So trust me, you do. Many people, the majority of people, they assume that their situation is somehow dictated mostly by outside factors. So what happens then is we blame circumstances. We blame our luck. We blame other people. We put the blame anywhere but on us. You don't have the job you want because you didn't have the luxury, to look around and take your time when you left school. You needed a job right away. You can't go traveling because you have a family with small children. You aren't rich because you were born in the wrong generation or in the wrong part of town or to the wrong family, and on and on and on. And again, over time, those thoughts, just helpless, tiny thoughts, we have thousands a day, but over time, those thoughts become your beliefs. And that is when it is almost impossible to change, because you've got a belief system going. Okay. It is what you believe. Those are the things you believe, the things your parents wanted for you, the things, particular to where you grew up in the world, your society, the media, the government, school, friends, coaches, teachers, all of that stuff molds children. So if you grew up in a bad, household with abuse, if you grew up in a household with verbal, any kind of abuse, where there was stress and anxiety, that is going to be living with you now. And it's going to be activated anytime your edges are touched. We like to say, it's they're called subscaras. It's like a scar of the soul, kind of. But it's when something happens, maybe something happens overly embarrassing, and you're just, you turn red every time you think about it. And then when you do think about it, your face gets flushed, you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach. You bring up the exact same emotions that happened when the event actually happened, because you've stored it away. You haven't worked through it. You've stored it away. And by doing that, you have held it inside you with willpower. And by doing that, you're ruining your life. Okay. So always thinking that somebody else is to blame, some other situation is to blame. That's an easy thing to fix. Now, there, of course, is some truth to that, but it's also up to you, no matter where you are, to dig yourself out of your current situation. Nobody's ever going to care the way you care about yourself. Nobody's going to ride in. We all think that, right? That the white knight is coming, but it's just not the case. You have to be your own white knight. That's somebody's line. I stole that, but it's so true. And how profound is that? We're all waiting for somebody to ride in, and save us, when we have the power to save ourselves. In fact, we're the only ones that can, but we're always waiting for someone else that we can put that responsibility onto. If you don't take responsibility for your actions, you can't be expected to achieve all the things you want to achieve, because you're going to find an external reason to blame. You're going to have your out. You need to believe that you have an impact on your life, and you need to have, and you have to have that internal control. Intention is everything. You know, if you don't know what you want, how are you ever going to get it? You know, dreams come true, but you have to have one. Intention is so important. Setting the intention for where it is that you want to go. When you accept all of these things, you recognize that you have the power to make that change. And with great power, Spider-Man, comes great responsibility. But you know what else? With great responsibility comes great power. Works the other way too. Step number 2, 5 steps to the perfect mindset, is direction. So after you've taken responsibility, then your next task is to decide the direction you want to go in. And more to the point, the goal or the vision or the dream that you're working towards. I don't care how old you are. I don't care where you are. I don't care how much money you have. The dreams are not dead as long as you are alive. So it doesn't matter if you're, you know, now you're a parent, you can't do it. That's all BS that you tell yourself. Those are all stories that you tell yourself to get yourself off the hook. Stop getting yourself off the hook, because it's not getting you anywhere. It's getting you exactly where you are now. And if you're not happy with where you are now, you've got to do something different than what you've been doing before. A lot of people are directionless, rudderless. You know, I talk about, I used to work a lot of cruise ships back in the day. And, you know, the big ships for Princess and NCL and Celebrity and Crystal and the big cruise lines. But those ships, hundreds of $1 million ships, and everything is computer programs. Everything is completely automated. You can literally walk up to the bridge on one of those ships, input the destination, hit the button, and that ship overnight will end up at the destination, exactly where they plotted it out to be. All by computer. No living person has to do anything. Okay. Now imagine that same cruise ship, but no crew. Okay. The computers aren't even on. Somebody goes up to the bridge, they flip on all the engines, they start the ship going, and they just let it go. What are the odds that that ship's going to end up in the next port of call? 0. It's going to end up on the beach, right? You have to have your destination. You have to be able to input where it is that you want to go in order to get there. I mean, that's just logical, right? But how many of your dreams are just, I want to be rich, I want to be this, I want to have this, I want to have that. No concrete dream, just no even specific amount of money. Everything is just a concept. And when you feel like that you're always after something, you're going to be chasing after that forever, because it always puts the payoff in the future. And because there is no future, there's only now, it never gets here. Because when the future gets here, what's going to happen? It's going to be in the now, right? So you're putting off your happiness, you're putting off your fulfillment to a later day that doesn't come. Okay. The key thing to remember is to recognize that whatever goals or visions that you've set, they don't have to be the cliched goals and dreams that everyone else has. It doesn't have to be the dreams that your mother wanted for you. It doesn't have to be the career that someone with your background and your age should have. It doesn't have to be that. It needs to be, those goals and visions have to be yours. They have to be the ones that you set for yourself. You don't need to want to be a Fortune 500 CEO. You know, it's not a requirement that you become a multimillionaire. Money is freedom. The great thing about money is you have freedom. You can do what you want. You can go where you want. You can buy what you want. You can help who you want. It creates freedom. And that's what money should be about, because that's what it's doing for you. Okay. But by the desire, the overwhelming desire people have for money, you almost repel it, because you're coming from a place of lack instead of a place of abundance, where anytime you're grateful, anytime you're feeling abundant, you get more of that thing. You know, if you would be happier living in a cabin in the woods off the grid, that would make you happy as hell, then do that. It needs to be your dream, your goal. And I can't tell you what that is. Nobody can tell you what that is. You're going to have to tell yourself. If you don't have my book, this is what we're talking about today. The address is down there. It's absolutely free. We've given away 3,000 of them as of today. I'm really proud of it. It's a great way to get you in the right mindset. You got to start somewhere. And if you've been watching me, and if you've been reading the posts and watching the videos and all of that stuff, that's great. But you have to start. Without that, you are never going to make any kind of achievement. So it's time to make those moves. It's time to start on your mindset. Again, this has to be your dream. Okay. What you employ here is a strategy I call lifestyle design. Okay. And I did this a long time ago. What it means effectively is that you're looking at the things you want to get in your life, that you want in your life. You're looking at the different factors that might get in the way, that might provide opportunity. The problem that a lot of people have is they go after the wrong goal. You know, many of us don't feel at all attached to whatever job we're doing. You work 8 hours a day, you spend time commuting, you spend time, at night doing work, whatever it is, even stay in the office late on regular occasions. And then when the opportunity comes for a promotion or something, you get to work harder, right? And you get a little more money. Instead, it's important to look at the things that really have value in your life, because we have made this mistake of putting value on material things. My car, my house, my boat, on and on and on. But it's the things that we have that we were given for free that are priceless, right? Family, courage, love, all of that's all free. Confidence. But we equate, the item, houses, cars, boats. The happiness comes, all of those things are things you give yourself. Love, courage, confidence. I mean, go out and try to buy confidence somewhere. You can't find it. You can only grant it to yourself. So instead of waiting for something to make you happy, you just decide to be happy first. You become the person you want to be. You start acting like that person. You have to jolt the system. You have to put a break in the timeline. You have to do something. You have to electroshock this thing to realize that there's change happening. Otherwise, you're doing the same old thing, right? So look at the things that have value. If you have a love of being creative, of writing, you got to try that. Maybe you're a painter in your spare time. Maybe that's your passion. You got to try that. Maybe it's spending less time at your current job and just spending more time with your family. That's okay too. There is no cookie cutter answer for everyone. So, like I said, not everyone wants to be a millionaire. Not everybody wants to be in a loving relationship or a marriage. Everybody has different needs and wants. That's why we're individuals. That's why really there's no competition, because no two people in the history of forever have been the same. Every person has lived. I don't care if they're twins. You do not live exactly the same life. You don't see exactly everything the same. So no two people are ever on equal ground. Some people have great strength in one area and their weakness in another. And that's just how it goes. So that's a great thing to remember. It's just a little tip. Just forget competition. Instead, creation. You're a co-creator of your life. So instead of competing to get what you want, you start creating. You start manifesting what you want. Come up with a vision of what you want for your life. See it. See what you want your life to be. Get that in your mind. I tell people all the time. I tell students of mine, write it down. Write a word on a piece of paper, a Post-it note that makes you think of that thought. If you want to be able to go on vacation 5 times a year and go to Paris and do this, maybe you see yourself walking in front of the Eiffel Tower, with a big handful of money or something. So if you wrote Eiffel Tower on a piece of paper and then you saw that, immediately in your mind, you could conjure up that image. Those things start to put space in your timeline of all this crap of the tape that's running inside your mind. You're putting space. Every time you do that, you put a little piece of space in that tape, and it keeps your automatic tape from taking over. So step 3 is opportunity. Opportunity is important. We have a question, I think. Oh, hello. Hello. I don't know who this is because it just says user, Facebook user. Let me take a look. I will see if I can see it because oh, there we go. Kimmy, how are you? I can see you on my phone. I am so glad you're here. Thank you. So we'll go back to step 3. Step 3 is opportunity. Now we're talking about my book, 5 Steps to the Perfect Mindset. I'm just giving you a quick overview. If you already have it, you'll understand it deeper as I talk here. If you don't have it, you'll understand exactly what it's about. But it's the 5 things that you need to put your mindset in the right place for whatever it is you want in life. I always say abundance, and it's abundance in whatever matters to you. Abundance doesn't just mean money. Abundance, you want an abundance of happiness, of love, of passion, whatever it is. Okay. So step 3 is opportunity. Once you know your goal, okay, you know where you're going. Once you know your vision, you've put that together in your mind. The picture is the puzzle pieces are starting to come together. The next step is to start looking for opportunities to climb higher. These things will start to happen to you. Synchronicities happens all the time. Most people say it's coincidence. I don't believe it. Synchronicities are these little things that happen. They're signs. They're pushing you in the right direction. All of a sudden, someone you've never met gives you a piece of information that changes everything. A door opens and you get a job that you didn't even know existed. Synchronicities happen. You're supposed to pay attention to them. They happen in all of our lives, but most of us discount them by calling them coincidences. When you learn to really look and see reality, you'll see opportunities are out there and they really do open themselves to you all the time. But we have such blinders on because of our belief system, because of the things we're programmed with, we just don't see it. They're all those things that there's those things you don't know. And then the most important thing of all are all the things that you have no idea about. You don't even know exist. Let's say you want to become an author. It doesn't mean the opportunities are going to take the obvious form, right, of writing opportunities. They might present themselves differently. And I always talk about Sylvester Stallone, one of my favorite movies of all time, Rocky. I mean, he wanted to become an actor, but every time he went out for a movie role, they wouldn't hire him. They didn't like his voice. They didn't think he was good. They would not give him a job. So instead, he decided he'd go through the back door and he wrote Rocky. He wrote it in a couple of weeks, this incredible script. And the studios all offered him big money for that, but he wanted to star in the movie. And that was what he put in as part of the deal, So he was in an acting audition and he happened to mention that he wrote this script. The script was such a big hit. They started offering him big amounts of money, but he said he would only accept it if he was cast as Rocky, and the rest is history. What Stallone did there was he found a different way. He found a back door to come in. When the front door is locked, you go to the back. When the back door is locked, you try the window. When the window's locked, you go to the basement. You got to keep looking. We are a society that gives up way too easy. We give up on the things that we want. We give up on the things we know that we deserve. We talk ourselves into complacency. We talk ourselves into being like everyone else. We talk ourselves into normal, right? The worst thing that happens to us is when we go to school. Think about when you're a kid. Everything's amazing. You're outside, you're playing, you're a princess, you're a firefighter, you're a superhero. You can do anything. The world is an incredible place. Then 5 years old, you go to school and it starts to be, you're all in desks. You act the same, not allowed to talk. They want you to be the same, the same, the same. Conformity. That's the thing that's killing people. Conformity, being like everybody else. When we're young, that's what we all want. We all want to fit in. We want to be like everyone else. We don't realize till later that it's individuality that makes us different, that makes us who we are. Otherwise, we're just copies of each other. Let's say you want to be a famous rock star. So the conventional route to becoming a famous rock star is very difficult, right? So maybe instead you create a YouTube channel to show off your skills and you see what comes from that. That's how Justin Bieber was discovered, for one. There's so many people. But again, it's a different way than trying to get signed to a record label right out of the gate. Now, the next step in the 5 steps to the perfect mindset, and this is really the most important. This is really the most important in your life, is willpower, is that intention. Okay. Life force. In martial arts, they have that notion of chi, right? It's life force energy. And we all have a certain amount each and every day. And what the problem is we have all of that life force spread out on the 10,000 things that we hold inside us. The first breakup, all of the things from our past that hurt us and make us not want to think about them. That takes willpower to hold those things inside. So you're draining yourself every day from your life force energy by holding on to all this crap from the past. This is the same energy like in the cartoons. You always see like Dragon Ball Z, for instance. They're shooting fire from their hands. You have that energy. Now, a lot of people, they view chi with skepticism, and other people just think it's a way to visualize kinetic energy. But the reality, it's different, something different altogether. When you're free to form your own interpretations, the one that I prefer is to look at chi being willpower. Chi is the ability to call upon strength, soul strength in your everyday life. It's your energy, it's your life force, it's your vitality. And if you don't know what life force is, what it feels like, go up to somebody who is a negative downer of a person, talk to them for 20 minutes and see how beat and tired you feel. The reason you feel tired is because that person just sucked your life force. They sucked your energy. And you know how that feels when you go up to someone and they ask you how you are and you say great, and then you say how are you, and they say oh my god, and they tell you their whole story of woe for 30 minutes. That'll drain you faster than anything, right? In martial arts, they have a way they demonstrate chi is with the spirit shout. Okay, you yell at the top of your lungs and you deliver a blow that stuns your opponent. And what it does, they say, is it allows you to deliver more strength to your blows. What is really happening is the shout is releasing a surge of adrenaline. And it's allowing you to call upon your reserves in your body of strength, increasing your metabolism. Studies show us that simply shouting in the gym can increase strength as much as 30%. Did you ever watch competitive weightlifters? And they always do that. The big yell, the big grunt at the beginning. Chi is strengthening the connection. Think of it that way. Strengthening the connection between body and mind. Because remember, really, it's like the pyramid. Mind, body, spirit. Without those 3 things operating for so long, the diet part was so bad for me. Since I've been doing this, if you're just joining, down 15 pounds. I was sick for about 6 days, but so down 15 pounds, but feel so much better. Really just feel incredible. Just energy, not being sluggish in the morning, that sort of thing. So when you don't have all parts of your triangle going, a lot of people, it's the mental side, and some people are bodybuilders and they don't have the soul side. If you're missing one of the 3 sides, or some people are missing 2, you are in trouble. So you got to get yourself back, where they're all 3 are firing on the same, It doesn't matter what you call it. If you call it life force energy, if you call it chi, whatever it is, health, willpower. It's about the unity between your mind and your body. It's when your body supports your mind and vice versa. We all think our brain, our mind is in control because we have been trained to be slaves to this mind. Like the mind is the master and we're the slave. It's actually the other way around, but it takes some training. It doesn't just happen. Your mind does not want to be trained. Let me tell you that. Why? Because it's gone your entire life doing whatever the hell it wants to do, saying whatever it wants to say. The most horrible crap you have ever heard in your life is coming from you in your mind. That voice in your head is destroying so much of your happiness, so much of your life. Most people don't know what that is. I talk about it all the time, the voice in the head, the past, the conditioned past coming up. Every time something happens in front of you, your mind is trying to find something in the past to relate to it. And it's always all that bad crap. So, you see something that kind of reminds you of, you see a truck that reminds you of your ex's pickup truck, and immediately you get sick in the stomach. You get clammy. The hair stands up on the back of your neck. Not even the same guy's truck. But we've done that to ourselves because we've stored away the energy. We've stored away the ill feeling with the thought, like a filing cabinet inside us. Okay, we do that with everything. We want to keep the good stuff. Remember the first kiss you ever had? Oh, you want to keep that feeling, right? So you put it away. First car you ever drove, you put it away. Embarrassing moment. This breakup, that breakup, this, that, this. Piling on more and more and more and more things over a lifetime. All of those things take a little piece of life force, a little piece of your willpower to hold in. So when you release them, you get that back, comes back home. That willpower comes back. Then you learn to focus it where it matters. Take it back, focus. Take it back, focus. You're clearing out all that crap. It's not serving you anyway. Thinking about the way your mommy treated you 30 years ago, and she's long dead, isn't doing anything for anyone. It's holding you back. If you develop your will, you can reach your goal because it's willpower. I mean, everything, diet, exercise, will, that inner strength. And the worst thing you can do to yourself is say, I can never lose weight. I can never do this. I can never, because you never will. The moment you say that to yourself, you make that affirmation, you make that statement, that intention, it becomes real. You don't expect yourself to make it. You're never going to make that. So you've got to keep an open mind. You have to learn to develop your will. And finally, step 5 in the 5 steps to the perfect mindset is appreciation. Every morning I do gratitude. And I have tons of these in my desk, but it's just pages and I just write all the things that I am grateful for. And if you try this, it'll change everything. Because when you feel grateful for what you already have, that feeling goes out in the universe, that frequency, we're all vibrating energy. We're all vibrating shafts of light, and we're vibrating on different frequencies. If you're vibrating with negativity and hate and jealousy and all of that crap, you're only attracting what is on that wavelength with you. And that's why a lot of times you'll see a relationship where one person is trying desperately to pull the other person up. You have, a woman who is doing everything she can. Her husband is an alcoholic, or he's addicted to drugs, or he's abusive, and she's constantly trying to raise him. It doesn't work because trying to pull someone up to your level, he can't harmonize with you. So in order to harmonize with that person, you have to lower your frequency so you harmonize. Anytime 2 people are around each other, that's what happens. You look for that the harmony, okay? So if this person is so negative, horrible, hate-filled, in order to have any kind of connection, understanding, talk, anything, you have to lower your frequency. And that's a very dangerous thing to do. So step 5 is appreciation. Now, make sure that despite looking for opportunities, despite focusing on your goal that's just out of your reach, you still make sure to appreciate it. And you appreciate what you already have. To live in the moment, to take stock of everything. The thing that I find incredible is there's really only two things that people are in life that are bothering us, right? It's the things that we want. So we're worried we're not going to get what we want. And we're also worried that we're going to get what we don't want. Because all those things you're thinking about, oh my God, if this happens and I lose my job. So you've got that going on, right? And then you've also got, I want this car. I want this girlfriend. I want this. I want that. So it's all the things we want and not getting the things we don't want. That's how we have to live our life. So we're never really seeing reality because you're seeing it through the lens of your past. You're seeing it through the lens of what it is that you want. You are seeing a very selective view of reality. That's why taking the blinders off, starting to become awakened, you see how much more there is than you ever knew to existence. You have to appreciate what you have. You got to live in the now. If you always chase the things that you want, you're going to be chasing them forever. You're going to be running after them forever. If you never stop to appreciate the things you have, you're going to find more stress, more anxiety. You never be satisfied. I spent the first 25, 30 years of my life completely anxiety ridden, completely stress filled, unsatisfied, making millions of dollars, miserable, addicted to pain pills, drinking a bottle of vodka every day, touring the world, and being in the most miserable shape I've ever been in my life. Money is what we all equate with happiness, and it's not what it is. We don't want money. We want the security, the feeling that the money is going to give us. So if somebody says, what do you want? I can grant one wish. What do you want? And you say, I want $1 billion, right? Okay, then I say, fine, I'm going to put you on a deserted island and I'm going to give you $1 billion in cash. Do you still want it? Of course not. You don't. I want to have a beautiful wife. I want to get married in Maui on the beach. I want to have a mansion on the water. Okay, you can have all of those things, but you're going to have the worst relationship ever. This woman's never going to love you, but to all intents and for all appearances, it'll look on the outside like the perfect relationship. Do you still want it? Of course you do not. Okay, so if you're always chasing after something, you're always going to be running after it. We can never have enough of what we don't want. Alcoholics, drug addicts. The more I got up to a bottle of vodka a day. I got up to, I don't know how many pain pills, 15 pain pills a day, 20 pain pills a day. That happens over time. You're doing that. You're building up that tolerance. You're driving more stress, more anxiety. Then you're working with withdrawals and all kinds of other crap while trying to live your life. Enjoying the moment, appreciating the moment changes everything. Because right now, I don't care where you are, who you are, you have so much to be grateful for. You're here, you're alive, you are healthy, at least in this moment. And this moment is all that matters. Don't worry about what can happen next week, what can happen tomorrow, what can happen next year. Worry about what's happening now. Until you take control of now, of this moment, you're never going to make any kind of change that's permanent, because you are constantly either working in the past, which is already written, you can't change, or you're off trapped in the future and you're worried about a bunch of crap that's never going to happen. The only time you can do anything is right now. But we always put everything off till tomorrow, till next week, till something else comes, somebody else does something. You've got to be proactive. I don't care where you are, you got a lot to be thankful for. You have friends, you have family, you have a roof over your head, you have food in your stomach. So you have things to be grateful for. You have to enjoy living in the moment and even thriving on little things. Fresh produce. There are all kinds of little things I am surprised all the time that I am so blown away and thankful for. When you live more in the now, you start to see a world you never really saw because you were always in your head. You're always living in your head, reliving the past, scared of the future. 80% of the day, we're on autopilot. And guess what happens when you're on autopilot? The tape that was made when you were a kid is running in your head. So 80% of the day, you're on autopilot and you are being controlled by a tape made when you were 8 years old or less. Scary as hell, right? Enjoy living in the moment. Enjoy the little things. Learn to relish a challenge. Learn to see disappointment as a chance for growth. I mean, you can't sit down at the piano if you've never played and play Chopin. You got to fail. And so many people I was always like this too. You're embarrassed and afraid to fail, to admit you can't do something. But with that line of thinking, you never learn to do anything. What all this does is it makes you mentally stronger. It allows you to release things that no longer serve you. It allows you to take back the willpower, the life force energy. If you can do this, not only are you going to be happier right now, but you're going to have less to fear. You're going to have less that's holding you back, especially if you stay in the now. Because what's happening, what's bothering you right now? Nothing. So in this moment, everything's fine. I don't care if you're about to be evicted tomorrow. In this moment right now, that's here in front of you, you're fine. So you have to remember that there are always those things to be grateful for. Meditation can help. I meditate every day. In fact, I'm really excited. I'm going to the TM Center in Akron this week, the Transcendental Meditation Center. So I'm adding that practice back in again. But I do about 90 minutes a day of all of my exercises, which are 20 and 20 of meditation. So that's 40 minutes of meditation, affirmations, visualization. I do a whole regiment of things. And that 90 minutes, it sounds like a lot. And we recommend 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. That's all you need. And I don't care, again, where you are, who you are. We've all got it. You've got, 1,400 minutes in a day or whatever. You can find 40 minutes for your mental health, 40 minutes for changing your life. A lot of what will happen in meditation will happen automatically. That's the great thing about meditation. You don't have to sit there and try to do anything. If you just sit there, watch your breath, you do a mantra, you count in your head, whatever it is you're doing, in the background, your subconscious will start taking care of itself because you've given your mind a job to do. You're meditating. Now, this is if you're doing, like I said, a mantra meditation, a breath meditation, something like that. Now, there is a mindfulness meditation where you're sitting and kind of being aware of everything. But in the other, your subconscious will start to work on those things in the background, and you will start to see things free up that bothered you. You start to see a little bit of space when something happens. Before you explode, there now seems to be space that wasn't there before. It almost seems like things are going in slow motion, and then you can react in the correct way. That's what happens for meditation. So if you start meditating and you start working on your mindset, you can get there twice as fast. I mean, when you're standing in the line at the bank, do a mantra in your head. I don't care if it's for 30 seconds. How about I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise? It doesn't matter if you are. You can, what you want to do with that mantra, think about all the negative shit your mind says all day long. When you realize that's going on, because now it just happens and you get sucked into it and you get pulled into the fear. But once you realize that voice is talking, that voice is not you, you are the awareness behind it. Obviously, if something's talking and you are realizing it, you're not the one talking. Your mind, there's two voices in your mind. There's the voice that just appears out of nowhere and starts talking. That is not you. Okay. That voice that's saying, oh my God, this guy looks like Cousin Bill who beat you up when you were a kid. And that voice is just the conditioned past. But then there's the voice that you make when you're trying to think of something. Okay. Or when you're purposely using it for something important. Most of us, we have this amazing supercomputer and we're using it for the most menial things. You've got the most dynamic machine in the universe right between your ears, and you're using it as a calculator. You're using it as a Palm Pilot. We use about 8% of our brain's capacity. 8%. Think about it. By opening up your willpower, your life force, and you're releasing those things, you start to gain more clarity. You start to gain more time, like I said, to allow you to react before you get sucked in. All of these things aren't to happen automatically. Some people do cognitive behavior therapy, not necessary. Mindfulness, that's something like, for instance, I have this rock. I keep this in my pocket. And if I'm going about my day and I reach into my pocket and I touch that rock, it's just a reminder to become mindful of the moment. So keep it, you can do that. Keep a little pebble in your pocket, in your purse. Anytime you see it, it's just a reminder to be in the moment. A great way to do that is you're washing your hands or something, right? Feel the water, smell the soap. What we do is it's always the payoff is in the next moment. For instance, you're pouring a cup of coffee, but that's not the moment that you want. You want to drink the coffee. So this moment just becomes a means to an end to get to that next moment. But we're doing that with all our moments, and we're being selective. Oh, I want this. And so you know what I mean? You have to decide what you've got to decide to be mindful. You've got to decide to be in the now. So washing your hands is good. In the shower, think about what you do in the shower. Are you really paying attention to washing your body? Or are you thinking about all the things you have to do that day? You can do it in the shower. You can be mindful of your situation. Okay. Just your surroundings. It's great in nature. Take a walk outside. It doesn't have to be a walk through the forest. A walk in the grass for 5 minutes is fine, but feel that connection as well. All these ways to work on your mindset, what it does, it gives you the ability to tap into that reserve. You have got a huge storehouse of power that you don't use. And this allows you to tap into that and use it. You've got mind power on reserve. You don't know it. You can accomplish practically anything. People say that and it sounds so contrite, but it's true. You are content with where you are. You've given up. A lot of people have given up wanting those things, and they'll just be content with where they are. Complacency again. Complacency is the enemy, because as soon as you become complacent, very, very difficult to make any kind of lasting change. Okay. So if you don't have the book, go to the address at the bottom. It is successsecrets.net. You can download a free copy. And again, it's my gift to you, but you'll start to understand how you can shift beyond where you are now and end up where you want to be. There is the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. The whole idea is to close that gap. Okay. So many people feel like it's so far, but getting that gap closer, 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 closer. That's what you do when you work on your mindset. So go to successsecrets.net, grab your copy, my gift to you. Start using it though. Don't just read it, put it to use in your life. Now, if you're not a member of our Facebook group, you need to be, because it's a fantastic community. We just went private the other day. We have a lot of members now. We actually got rid of this week alone, I think we've gotten rid of about 400 members because there were fake profiles and spam and people join these groups and then they block the moderator so they can put spam. So we've gone through and we've removed hundreds and hundreds of people to we want it to be a safe place where we're connected and helping each other. So people there have the same frame of mind, and they care about transforming their life. They care about getting to where it is that they want to go and not just living with where they are now. So we have strategies and processes and systems. I've been doing this a long time, 25, 30 years all over the world, teaching celebrities and sports teams and Fortune 500 CEOs, and now the masses, because that's who really needs it. The rich people don't need it. The billionaires don't need it. The people that are drowning in stress and anxiety every day Those are the people that need the information. So that's what we do each and every day, all kinds of video trainings, posts. I don't know how many posts every day. There's 10, 20 posts a day. Lots of content, lots of ways to help, lots of ways that you can get started. So pick something. Don't wait. Just pick something and start. Any progress is success. Anytime you're moving towards your goal, I don't care if it is at a snail's pace, you are successful, because success is when you are working towards the goal. So success isn't just attaining it, it's working towards it. So join us. It's facebook.com/groups/students of self-empowerment. Facebook.com/groups students of self-empowerment. Really fantastic group. We do a lot in there. So come join us. Tell your friends, invite everyone you know. They can definitely use the push. That's what we're all about. So if you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today, or if you read the book and you want to talk about that, just drop any comments you have down below this video. We always check them, and I will definitely talk about them next time. I'm going to try to do more of these, especially I'm feeling better now as we go along. I can't go live every day with everything I'm doing. Still touring and out on the road, but I'm going to try to go several times a week. What I'd like to do is set up a time, the same time every week, 3 times a week or something, but at the same times, because right now it's very sporadic. So I'd like to do that. That way you guys will know what time it's going to be on. And I would love to bring some of you on and, have you here as part of the video call and actually do some coaching in real time and talk about your problems. So if you're interested in something like that, send me a message. We can definitely do something. I think it would help other people. I always like to let other people live vicariously. That's what helps people when they see someone else with the problem that they're fixing, when they can live through someone else. And that's what happens when you put yourself out there. And that's why the group being private is a good thing, because so many people, because it was public, were afraid to post, because it was searchable on the internet, and those posts could show up other places. Now, unless you're a member, you cannot see who's in the group, and you can't see any of the content or the posts. So feel free to post anything you want, any questions you have. Nobody's going to see it but members of our community. Okay, that's all I got for you today. Don't forget, grab your book, successsecrets.net. 3,000 of them we've given away as of today, and it's helping a lot of people. And I'm really proud of this book. Of all the things I've done, I think this is the most concise, and for the size of the book, I think it's the most helpful. So grab your copy right now. I'll be back in a day or two. Keeping on the diet. I'll give you an update as we go along. Everything else is great. So remember, don't worry, be happy, and feel good. See you soon. Just yes or no, is there something that you're thinking of that has to do with a motorcycle or motorbike?
Yes.
It has to do with, is your wife with you?
Yes.
Interesting. Has to do with your wife as well. Did you propose to your wife on a motorbike?
Yes.
Give us a applause. Take a seat. So, password to their cell phone. If your password to your cell phone is 4471, just yell out. Yeah. Somebody is thinking about the city of Westminster. Where is that person? Westminster. Right there in the front. Or near the front, right by you. Good. You can take your hands off your mouth now. It's okay. Pass the mic down, please. What? Is there a 4 in there?
Yes.
And a 6?
Yes.
Think of the street. Edro?
Oh my.
Is that Edro? Is it Edro Isle? Is that right?
Yes.
You are thinking about a very long series of numbers, am I correct? Is this a phone number, or what kind of number is this?
Delta Sky Miles.
The Delta Sky Mile number. You're just going to answer me after each digit. Are you ready? 2, 2, 1, 0, 3, 3. That's the hesitation. Is it a 4? A 3, 4? 7, 9?
Yes.
That's it? Good, give us some applause.
Bringing back the mentalist, Mr. Brent Webb.